Very good morning, 8th class. Today we will again continue with your DG class for your Geography Chapter 2.
We use water every day for various purposes. But can you guess how old the water we all use today is? It is believed that the first fishes on the earth swam in the same water we use today. The extinct dinosaurs are believed to have waded through it. And even our prehistoric ancestors have used the same water. Yes, it's true. The water present on the earth is as old as the earth itself. It just keeps on circulating between the earth's surface and its atmosphere. This natural mechanism is called water cycle. Most of the water on the earth is present in the oceans. Ocean water contains a large amount of dissolved solids, hence it is not suitable for human consumption. However, oceans play a very important role in the water cycle. They help in replenishing the freshwater sources on Earth. Let's see how the water cycle works. The first stage in the water cycle is evaporation. In this stage, water from the Earth's surface turns into vapor and moves into the atmosphere. Let's see how this happens. During the daytime, water present in the oceans and other water bodies gets heated up. As a result, it evaporates into the air, leaving behind salts and other impurities. Land areas also lose water through the process of evaporation and transpiration. Water present in the soil and in groundwater sources is lost through evaporation, while plants lose water from the surface of the leaves through transpiration. The second stage in the water cycle is condensation, in which clouds are formed. Let's see how. Warm air is lighter, hence it begins to move upwards into the atmosphere. The water vapor present in the air also moves along with it. At higher altitudes, the temperature is low. As a result, the warm air starts cooling down. The water vapor present in the air also begins to cool down and condense into tiny droplets of water. Millions of these water droplets form clusters and keep floating in air. These clusters are called clouds. The third stage in the water cycle is called precipitation. In this stage, the water lost through evaporation moves from the atmosphere back to the Earth's surface. Let's see how this happens. As the clouds get laden with water droplets, they become heavy. When the clouds can no longer hold the water droplets, the droplets start falling on the earth. This is called rainfall or precipitation. In cold places, the water droplets in the air freeze into tiny ice crystals called hail. In extremely cold places, the water droplets freeze to form soft flakes of snow. Rain, hail, and snow are three types of precipitation. The last stage of the water cycle is called collection. In this stage, the precipitated water either falls directly into the oceans, rivers, ponds, and lakes, or seeps into the soil and is stored as groundwater. The excess or runoff water that is not soaked by the soil flows downhill into rivers. Most of the rivers finally flow back into the ocean. Some rivers also flow into lakes. The whole cycle starts all over again. In this manner, the water cycle works to maintain the supply of fresh water on the earth. We often hear of people talking of keeping the earth green. But sometimes we forget the fact is that most of the earth is not green. It has always been blue. 70% or 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered by water, making the earth appear blue when seen from outer space. Oceans and seas hold 97% of the total water on the earth. Did you know that the water on the earth is the same that existed years ago? This is because the water on the earth keeps getting recycled through evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. In spite of the abundance of water on the earth, why do we experience a scarcity of water? All the water of the oceans and seas is not available to us. Seawater, which comprises of 97% of all the Earth's water, cannot be directly consumed because of the salt content. All life on Earth depends on fresh water. However, only 3% of the total Earth's water is fresh water. About 70% of all fresh water is found in glaciers and polar ice caps. Only 1% of all fresh water is found in rivers, lakes, and streams. The remaining fresh water is found either in groundwater or on the Earth's surface. Fresh water is used for drinking, irrigation, transportation, recreation, and also for industrial activities. It is observed that quantity of river water varies across the continents. The greatest water scarcity is found in Africa.
Isn't it true that when we are thirsty, only water can quench our thirst? However, there is limited fresh water available to us. Thus, we must realize the importance of conserving water. There are some easy ways in which you can conserve water today. Don't waste water. Conserve rainwater. And don't pollute water sources. Answer the following questions based on what you have learned so far. Click the Show Answer button to verify your answer. Every day, you hear news of the global water scarcity. There's talk of a looming water crisis. But 3/4 of the world is covered with water. And even though only a small proportion of it can be actually used, you know that fresh water is constantly recycled through the hydrological cycle. So, what's all the fuss about? Take a look at this drop of water. What is it telling you? Yes, India uses more than 80% of its water for agriculture. But as our population grows and the demand for food grains increases, the levels of groundwater rapidly reduce. A developing country like India uses more than 80% of its water for agriculture. What if India went the way of developed countries? Which is inevitable for the economic growth of the country. On an average, high-income countries use almost 60% of their water in the industrial sector. In what ways do industries use water? Directly and indirectly through the usage of hydroelectric power. In fact, you need water to generate most forms of energy. But industries not just use water. A large part of industrial wastes are dumped without treatment, polluting nearby water bodies, making the water unusable even after repeated treatment. And this affects not just us human beings, but the others who inhabit and use that water too. Agriculture and industries are power users of water. But how about you, right there at home or at school? You already know that by getting a leaking tap repaired, or by reducing the time you spend under the shower, you save huge amounts of water. But do you know that behind almost every product you use, there's the invisible footprint of water? It takes almost 1,000 liters of water to produce a liter of milk. It takes around 140 liters of water to produce a cup of coffee. This is the water footprint, the total volume of fresh water that is used to produce the goods and services you consume. Agriculture, industry, and households are therefore not separate entities, but complexly interlinked through the blue web of water. And water is about the food security of a nation, the economy of a country. Water is about the health of its people, with a lot of our fresh water getting too contaminated for use, and climate change reducing the amount of water available to us. All that fuss is not without a reason. Around 6,000 children die every day from preventable water-related diseases. A drop of oil can make up to 25 liters of water undrinkable. A sheet of paper has a water footprint of 10 liters. The United Nations General Assembly has proclaimed the period from 2005 to 2015 as the International Decade for Action, Water for Life. Consider this fact. A kilogram of rice costs about 3,400 liters of water to produce. Would you continue producing rice inside the country? Or would you rather import rice and use your country's water for industrial growth? Discuss and come up with your suggestions. Well, it's the festival season all over the world. It's Christmas. Let's go to Mumbai, in India. That's Sarah, looking at the photographs of Christmas trees. But she seems unhappy. She is wondering why there aren't real Christmas trees around in Mumbai. She requests her mother to help her grow a Christmas tree in the backyard for the next Christmas. Her mother explains to her that it would probably not be possible, because first, a young Christmas tree needs a couple of years to be just ready for Christmas, while for it to become a fully grown tree, it takes many decades. And more importantly, the climatic conditions in Mumbai do not support its growth. Different types of natural vegetation require different types of climatic conditions. Sarah is wondering what natural vegetation means. Let's know more about it.
Look at the garden outside Sarah's window. It has various trees with creepers, as well as bushes, grass, flowering plant. All this did not grow on its own. It was the gardener who planted them and tended them. But when vegetation grows over vast lands without human help or intervention, it is called natural vegetation. Sarah's mother suddenly seems to recollect something. It's about an old school project that Sarah's mother had created about the natural vegetation in India. She had collected pictures of varied types of vegetation, each requiring different climatic conditions. The vegetation in India is of 5 types: tropical evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forests, thorny bushes, mountain vegetation, and mangrove forests. Tropical rainforests receive heavy rainfall and are dark and dense since sunshine does not reach the grounds. They always appear green and are also called the evergreen forests. This is because tropical rainforests shed their leaves at different times of the year. Mahogany, ebony, and rosewood are some trees that grow in tropical rainforests. In India, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, parts of the northeastern states, parts of West Bengal, and a narrow strip of the western slope of the Western Ghats are home to tropical rainforests. These are the tropical deciduous forest trees. They are less dense and shed their leaves at a particular time of the year. The tropical deciduous forests are also called monsoon forests. Trees like sal, teak, peepal, shisham, and neem are found in these forests. In India, the tropical deciduous forests are found in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, and in parts of Maharashtra. This picture is of a desert region having thorny bushes. Thorny bushes are found in dry regions. Their leaves are in the form of spines to reduce loss of water. Cactus, khair, babul, and kikar are certain types of thorny bushes. Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats, and Gujarat are home to thorny bushes. As you see, this is a mountainous region with lots of vegetation, especially cone-shaped trees. The conical trees are called coniferous trees. They are found at heights between 1,500 meters
and 2,500 meters. As the height increases, the temperature decreases and the vegetation varies across altitudes. So if Sarah lived in this region, her wish to have her own Christmas tree would be fulfilled. Cheer, pine, and deodar are some trees that grow in mountainous regions. In northern India, mountain vegetation is found in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttaranchal. In eastern India, mountain vegetation is found in West Bengal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Manipur. Look at this dense vegetation in marshy areas. These are the mangrove forests comprising of trees and shrubs. Mangroves need a mixture of both fresh water and saline water. But they can survive high degrees of salinity. Mangroves have roots known as breathing roots. A breathing root is an aerial root that absorbs air and may also support the trees in the soft, muddy water. This is a picture of a mangrove forest. It was actually taken in Mumbai. The Sundarbans in West Bengal are mangrove forests. The Sundarbans are named after the Sundari species of trees found here. Mangrove forests are also found in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat, and along many areas along the coastline of India.